Y'all remember when Akon was talking about building a real-life Wakanda in Senegal? Whole futuristic city, 6 billion budget, jobs, hospitals, casinos, the works. 7 years later, all they got is one lonely frame of a building looking sad as hell. Fans out here confused, like, was this man just dreaming too big or was it a scam from the jump? Honestly, this got Dr. Umar vibes all over it. Big speeches, bigger promises, and then silence.
You don't find that suspicious?
Let's rewind to 2018 when Akon first dropped this idea, because that's where the whole story starts. All right, before we break down how the city flopped, you got to know who Akon is and where he came from. Government name, Alian Thiam. Born in St. Louis, Missouri, but spent a big chunk of his childhood back in Senegal, Africa. He was moving back and forth, sometimes in the States, sometimes overseas, till he finally settled in Jersey. Music wasn't just some hobby either. His family had that influence, and Akon dipped his toe in early. First signed with Elektra Records for a minute, but his real come up, that was 2004. Song called Locked Up went crazy.
Oh my God! Wow!
Everybody knew it, had the streets, the clubs, even the suburbs singing about jail time. That track blew the doors open for him. Months later, he dropped his debut album, Trouble. Big success. By 2006, his second album, Convicted, was selling like crazy. 286K first week. Hit 1 million in just 6 weeks in the US alone. Dude was certified. But it wasn't all platinum plaques and stadium shows. By 2007, Akon caught his first Africa-related scandal. See, word came out he had part ownership in a diamond mine in South Africa. Now, this was right after the movie Blood Diamond dropped, so you already know people were heated. That movie had folks shook about conflict diamonds. Stone's mind in war zones sold off to fund bloodshed. Not the type of flex you want to be tied to. When they pressed Akon about it, his first take was wild. Man said, "I don't believe in conflict diamonds. That's just a movie. Think about it. Nobody cared about diamonds until the film came out." Like, bruh, what?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That's like saying nobody cared about crack until New Jack City. Later, he switched up, admitted conflict diamonds were real, but claimed he didn't think like that. Even said he donated some profits back to local communities. Sounded more like damage control than truth. And by 2020, he changed his story again. Said he left the game altogether because it was dirtier than the drug business. So yeah, early signs Akon knew how to talk slick when the heat came. Even with the diamond drama, Akon's career didn't slow down. In 2008, he dropped his third album, Freedom, and that one went platinum too. Dude was unstoppable back then. And the collabs, crazy. He was everywhere, linking up with the biggest names in the game, even tied into the World Cup anthems. That run stacked his bank account heavy. Forbes had him grossing 12 million in 2008, 20 million in 2009, 21 million in 2010, and 13 million in 2011. That's superstar money. He was in that rare air where you could literally do whatever you wanted after music. But here's the thing, streams slowed down later like it does for almost every artist. Instead of blowing through the bag, Akon tried flipping it into something bigger. And that's where he stepped into philanthropy, trying to position himself like a global hero, not just a hit maker. So here's where Akon switched lanes. Instead of just stacking plaques, he tried stacking good deeds. One of the biggest things he launched was Akon Lighting Africa. The idea was simple but powerful. Bring solar power to parts of Africa where electricity was damn near non-existent. He lined up a $1 billion line of credit from Chinese investors, and it worked out because back then China had mad solar panels sitting around thanks to US tariffs. So Akon swooped in and made a deal. In the first year alone, he brought solar power to 14 African nations. By 2020, the project had reached 25 nations and lit up the lives of almost 29 million Africans. That's not small talk. Kids could study at night, villages got safer, thousands of jobs were created teaching young people how to install and maintain solar. That was real impact. And then there was the Konfidence Foundation, his own charity for underprivileged kids, renovating schools, digging wells, giving out mosquito nets, holiday meals, even jewelry sales to raise funds. But here's where it got messy. After 2011, the foundation went quiet. Then years later, the site randomly updates with weird posts about using adult couple streams to raise money.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
With links to an actual adult site. Like, bruh, how do you mix kids' charity with Pornhub vibes? Either the site got hacked or somebody wildin'. But either way, the pattern was clear. Akon had that itch to be seen as Africa's savior, which brings us right to the biggest project he ever hyped, Akon City. So in 2018, Akon hit the world with his biggest flex yet, Akon City. Man said he was going to build a real-life futuristic Wakanda in Senegal, and he had the blueprints to prove it. They laid out all these shiny 3D renderings, an African village district like a luxury resort, an entertainment zone with a stadium, casino, and mall, a tech hub, his version of Silicon Valley, a whole health and safety district with police, fire, hospital. The hospital alone was supposed to be one of the largest in West Africa, nearly $1 billion build, an education district to raise up the youth, and of course, the Signwood district with film studios, media buildings, and the crown jewel, Akon Tower, his version of a king's castle. The budget, $6 billion. Phase 1 was supposed to be done by 2023. Roads, mall, hospital campus, schools, waste facility, hotels, even a solar power plant. But then, delays hit. First, they pushed it to 2025. Then again to 2026. Said they were lining it up for the Junior Olympics. And bruh, the Black Panther comparisons wrote themselves. Even Akon leaned into it. Said the movie changed the world's image of Africa, and his city was going to bring that vision to life. He was talking like, this is going to be the future. But yo, you already know what's coming. All that Wakanda talk sounds good on paper, till you ask, where the hell the $6 billion coming from? Here's where the whole thing starts smelling funny. Cause building a $6 billion Wakanda ain't cheap. Akon couldn't bankroll that himself, even with all the hits. So he linked up with this Kenyan entrepreneur named Julius Mwale. Dude claimed he had $4 billion lined up for the project. On paper, Mwale looked legit. He was behind a Green City project in Kenya. But peel back the layers, lawsuits everywhere. People accusing him of owing them millions. Not exactly the kind of guy you trust with billions. Then came the second solution, crypto. Akon announced Acoin, his very own cryptocurrency. He said it'd be the official money inside Akon City. The logic was, Africa's got over 40 currencies across 54 countries, a lot of them weak or unstable. So he wanted to create a universal coin, a way for people to earn, spend, and save easier. But instead of leaning on apps people already used, like Africa's own versions of Cash App, he made his own coin. And this wasn't just about convenience. Akon even said, I don't like the word king, but I'll basically be the king of the city.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Like, bruh, you don't want a mayor, you want a throne. The way Acoin launched also raised eyebrows. He did a pre-sale called the Token of Appreciation Campaign, basically a fundraiser. Every dollar you put in got you 4 tokens. When the coin finally launched, it came out at 15 cents, quickly shot up past 50 cents. But Akon himself admitted he held a fat stack of coins. His own words, I am the bank. So yeah, already feels like the setup to a pump and dump. But at the time, locals were hyped. Media was hyped. People wanted to believe. So here's the crazy part. At first, Senegalese locals were actually excited. The youth thought they'd finally get solid jobs. The village chiefs thought it'd boost the economy. Especially since fishing money had dried up, they were like, yo, if Akon can really build schools, hospitals, and jobs, why would anyone leave for Europe? But fast forward a couple years, nothing to show for it. They laid a foundation stone, gave some speeches, and dipped. Locals started saying delays were because of COVID, and yeah, that made sense for a while. But years later, still nothing. Then content creators pulled up to check it out. One guy, Stephen Onuku, even flew to Senegal, got an Airbnb, and made the trip to Akon City. Bruh documented the whole thing. And when he got there, Instead of a futuristic Wakanda, he found one basic building with Akon City painted on it. No city, no stadium, no hospital, just some half-finished concrete and a random cinder block with a sign, like that was supposed to prove progress. Man said straight up, this is disappointing.
I mean, it's all right. Like, overrated as in my opinion. I mean, and you know what though? That's typically how the bullshit goes. You feel me?
And that's when people started waking up. Like, maybe this ain't a dream. Maybe it's just smoke and mirrors. By 2024, the Senegalese government was done playing nice. SAPCO, the group that handles tourism and coastal development, basically hit Akon with an ultimatum. Sternly, start building or give us back 90% of the land we gave you. Reason, Akon had missed payments. They weren't seeing progress, just excuses. And when the Minister of Tourism got asked about it, he flat out said, either respect the lease or we'll reassign the project to other investors. Akon tried to smooth it over, talking politics and propaganda, saying the city was still on track. But a year later, SAPCO announced Akon City no longer exists. They said they worked out a smaller, more realistic project, but that Wakanda dream was officially dead.
We don't do that here.
Locals were crushed. They've been promised jobs, hospitals, opportunities. Instead, same poverty, same struggle. One villager said, we were promised jobs and development. Nothing has changed. And Akon, he went on a press run, hitting every podcast, saying it's still happening, just push back. He kept repeating the same talking points like he had a script, even said, it's 100% happening. I can't tell you when, but it's happening even after I died.
Do you see me laughing, my nigga?
That's not how deadlines work. Akon kept doubling down, but the story started cracking everywhere. He told people he'd use Senegalese architects and engineers to build the city, but then hired firms out of LA and the UAE, like so much for local jobs. Then he tried pitching Akon City 2.0 in Uganda, even stood next to the state minister of housing, announcing it like it was official. But Uganda's own government later said, nah, there's no Akon City being built here. Straight up embarrassed them. Meanwhile, the villagers in Senegal, the same ones who gave up their land, never even got paid. The chief said his beef wasn't even with Akon directly, but with SAPCO, because they snatched up hundreds of acres and the locals got nothing in return. So between the broken promises, shady expansions, and hiring outsiders, the whole thing started looking less like a dream and more like a hustle. Now, this is where the scam vibes really hit. Remember how Acoin launched around 15 cents, shot up past 50? Well, today, that thing's worth fractions of a penny, like 0.003 cents. And it's not even on major exchanges anymore. You can't buy it, you can't sell it, dead coin walking. Investors who bought in were told they could get refunds if they wanted out. Akon even admitted the coin wasn't managed properly, blamed the Bitcoin crash, which happened long after his coin tanked. But here's the thing, those refunds never came. A YouTuber called Go Black to Africa showed receipts, emails back and forth with reps promising his refund, then ghosting him for years. 2 years later, still no money. Multiply that by hundreds of other investors, same story. And lawsuits started piling up too. Akon's old business associate, Divine Stevens, sued him for $4 million, calling Akon City a straight Ponzi scheme. Even a retired federal agent, Scott Thomason, reviewed the project and said it had all the red flags, pump and dump, pyramid vibes, the whole playbook. To this day, nobody's seen real refunds. And Akon, he kept saying, don't worry, I'll make it right.
How, Sway?
Even if I got to go in my own pocket. Bruh, stop. If you were going to do that, you would have done it already.
So that was a lie.
See, the coin in the city weren't the first times Akon got caught playing loose with the truth. His whole convict music brand built on a fake backstory. For years, he told everybody he was the ringleader of a big-time car theft crew. Said he was boosting Porsches, Lambos, running chop shops, selling to celebs and dealers. Even claimed he did 4.5 years in prison, and that's where he wrote his first hit, Locked Up. Sounds hard, right? Only problem, none of it was real. In 2008, the site The Smoking Gun dug up his records and exposed them. Turns out Akon had been arrested a few times, yeah, but he was only convicted once for gun possession. Got 12 months probation, that's it. His big case, just one stolen BMW, and the charges got dropped. One FBI agent who was actually on that case laughed when he heard Akon's stories. Said this guy is so phony, he wasn't running anything. Even joked that Akon probably just wanted to drive fancy cars. And the wildest part, a court-ordered paternity test proved Akon fathered a kid in 2000, right in the middle of the 4.5 years he claimed he was locked up. So yeah, if he could lie about a whole prison stretch and build his career image off it, why wouldn't he do the same with a $6 billion fantasy city? So at the end of the day, what was Akon City really? Was it a bold dream that just collapsed under bad planning and shady partners? Or was it always set up as one big hustle? The locals who lost their land, they got nothing. The investors who bought Acoin, they never saw their money back. And Akon, he's still out here promising a future city, even though the first one already got canceled. When somebody promises you Wakanda, but don't even have the permits, the funding, or a team in place, don't buy the hype. We've seen this play too many times. From celebrity NFTs to pump and dumps, the patterns never change. Akon's story is a warning shot. Even somebody who once brought light to millions can flip into something that looks like a scam if the money trail gets murky. And one more thing, this ain't just about Akon. This is about a bigger issue. When Africa's future gets turned into branding projects and empty promises, who really pays the price? The people on the ground. So here's my hot question for y'all. Do you think Akon was just dreaming too big? Or do you believe Akon City was always a scam from day one? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear them. And if you liked this video, you will probably want to watch the one that just popped up on your screen. Click now, and I'll see you there. Panda out.